good evening, good night, everyone. And it's a wonderful Monday, hopefully. Um, Welcome back once again, and we are going to jump right into it. So, yes, no, maybe. Our topic for today is preferences or les préférences. Preferences or les préférences. So, bienvenue tout le monde. Good night, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I hope you have had a fantastic day so far and enjoyed the lesson. Tonight, this evening, we will be focusing on preferences. We will look at how to say we like something. Sorry about that second line. Today we're just going to look at how to say we like something. Next time we'll focus on how to say we don't like something, and so on. We will also look at different vocabulary which may prove necessary or useful. Last but not least, we'll get in some practice, like we always do, which would hopefully help you to understand the topic more. So that is our agenda. We're going to look at how to express our preferences, different vocab that will prove useful with regards to these categories, and we'll get in a little practice. So, first and foremost, aimer. Aimer. Aimer, which means to like. Aimer, to like. So, conjugation of the verb aimer, and this is the present tense conjugation. As mentioned before, the verb aimer means to like in French. At times it can also mean to love, and I'll get to that later. Below we are going to look at a chart which would show the conjugation of the verb aimer. So I have different categories here. I have the subject pronoun, the present tense endings, the conjugation of aimer, and then I put everything together. So we have the subject pronouns, which we all would know: je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. Those are our subject pronouns. We have the present tense endings: e, es, I, on, ons, ez, and ent. So, as we can see, aimer is an ER verb, and it is conjugated like all the other regular ER verbs in the present tense. So, when they're conjugated, the conjugation which follows je is aim, A-I-M-E. The one that follows to, or the verb that is used, the present tense conjugation of the verb aimer, which is used when the subject is to, is aim. It's pronounced the same way, don't mind the S, aim. A-I-M-E-S. Oh, sorry, so it's M, A-I-M-E, M, A-I-M-E-S, M, A-I-M-E, and that follows il, elle, or on, aimant, aimant, sorry about that, aimant. I have nous aimons, aimer, aime. So M, A-I-M-E, M, A-I-M-E-S, M, A-I-M-E, aimant. Aimant. Yeah, sorry about that, but aimant, A-I-M-O-N-S, aimer, A-I-M-E-Z, and then M. So, now we put it all together. So you have je and M. As we can see, the E is followed by an A. And when the E is followed by an A or a vowel, we drop the E in this situation, and the E is replaced with an apostrophe, as it's highlighted here. So it's not je aime, it's j'aime. 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 Tu aimes, il aime, elle aime, on aime, nous aimons, vous aimez. So you get that sound again, and that's because of the S and the A. There's a liaison between the two. So nous aimons, vous aimez, Ils aiment. So before I said il and then I said m. But as you can see, there's the S followed by an A, which creates a liaison between the two. So they're pronounced together, more or less in a sense. So it'll be ils aiment rather than il aime. It'll be ils aiment, elles aiment. So I'll repeat that again. J'aime, tu aimes, il aime, elle aime, on aime, nous aimons, vous aimez, ils aiment, elles aiment. Elles aiment. Elles aiment. Elles aiment. Is the if you drop the S off of the L and put a Z before the A. Elles aiment. Elles aiment. But elles aiment. Right? Hopefully that was explained well. So now we have talking about likes. So as we saw before, we use the verb aimer to talk about things we like. And as I mentioned before, we're going to be looking at vocabulary which would help us out in these situations. So here is some vocabulary to know as well as examples. So first and foremost, to like to do something. So I like to go for walks, to like to do something. It would be aimer. You could use bien or you don't have to use bien. Faire quelque chose. So in this case, you wouldn't put back aimer, faire, and then complete the sentence. No. Faire is just, how to say it? Well, in this case, to like to do, faire means to do. So that's why faire is there. But you'll see with the examples what I mean or how to use this sentence structure. So for now, to like to do something, aimer bien faire quelque chose. Well, aimer faire quelque chose or aimer bien faire quelque chose. So here are some examples on how to use this sentence structure. I like to swim. So we have basically two parts. Well, no, three parts, I'd say. The subject pronoun, I, which is je. Like, we figured out or we learned that aimer means to like. So we would conjugate aimer and use the conjugation which comes after je or which goes with je. So j'aime and then to swim, nager. So you would conjugate aimer and then leave the infinitive of the action that you're doing. So in this case, it's I like to swim. So to swim, nager. Nager is the infinitive, which means to swim. So we will conjugate aimer and then use the infinitive following it, the infinitive of the verb. Whew. So I like to swim, j'aime nager. She likes to eat dessert. Elle aime manger le dessert. Le dessert. Sorry. Elle aime manger le dessert. So we see that aimer is conjugated and directly following is the infinitive. So to eat, manger. So she likes to eat, elle aime manger. Elle aime manger le dessert. Next we have to like something. So this is not to do something. You don't like to do something. You just like something. So aimer quelque chose. And for those who don't know what quelque chose means, quelque chose means something. So to like something, aimer, to like, quelque chose, something, to like something. So here are some examples. We like chocolate. So we see that there's no verb here. So there's no use of infinitive here. We like chocolate. We, subject, pronoun, subject, like, verb, chocolate, object. We like chocolate. Nous aimons le chocolat. Nous aimons le chocolat. Oui, nous, like, aimons chocolate, le chocolat. Nous aimons le chocolat. Another example is I like cars. What's the subject? I, and this translated into French is je. Like aime, which is the conjugation which comes after je, and then cars, les voitures. So, I like cars, j'aime les voitures. I like cars. I like, j'aime, cars, les voitures. I like cars. And we see here that aimer is conjugated, and the conjugation depends on the subject, and then it is followed by the object. Whatever we like, the object. Last but not least, to like to do something can also be aimer à faire quelque chose. So earlier I had aimer faire quelque chose. So that's one way of doing it. If you use it, that is 100% correct. Well done. If you use aimer à faire quelque chose, still correct. So here are some examples. You like to travel. Tu aimes à voyager. So the à is followed by the infinitive of the verb. And then we see that aimer is conjugated, and the conjugation depends on the subject / subject pronoun. So tu aimes à voyager. They like to dance with their friends. Ils aiment or elles aiment, and the reason why I have ils or elles, well, il or elle, is because there was no specification on who's they. So I just put either or. But when you're doing exercises, you should have the specification so you know which subject pronoun to use. But we continue. They like to dance with their friends. Ils aiment ou elles aiment à danser avec ses amis. So, ils aiment ou elles aiment à danser avec ses amis. They like, ils aiment ou elles aiment to dance à danser with their friends avec ses amis. So remember, to like to do something can be aimer followed by the infinitive of the verb. It can be aimer à followed by the infinitive of the verb. Either or is correct. So next we move on. Préférer, to prefer. So remember, the topic for today was preferences, and here we go. Préférer, to prefer. Préférer. So we have the E with an acute accent on them. You get that A sound, not A. You get that A sound. So préférer, to prefer. So once again, we have a conjugation chart, and this involves the conjugation of the verb préférer. So, as I said before, préférer means to prefer. And now we're going to look at the chart and look at the conjugation and so on. So we have our subject pronouns, je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. We have the present tense endings. As we can see, préférer is an ER verb, and it's conjugated more or less like the, 1 minute I just saw an issue, but is present, it is, it is conjugated more or less as the, it has the same endings as ER verbs when conjugated, right? As present tense ER verbs when conjugated. So we have the E, the ES, the E, the ON, the A, the ENT. So those endings don't change. So here we have the conjugations. Now, with the conjugation, we see that the infinitive is préférer with two acute accents. But yet, when you look at je, tu, il, elle, on, and il and elle, if you look at their conjugations, we see that there's one acute accent and a grave accent, which is like the backwards accent, the grave accent. So we have to be mindful of this when conjugating préférer, because if you're not paying attention, you may put back the same two acute accents, which will make it wrong for some. So the verb is préférer. The endings, when conjugated, the endings are the same as regular present tense verbs, regular ER verbs conjugated into the present tense, So now we're going to look at préférer. So let me get my mouse. So here we have préfère. So we see that this accent is changed. Préfère. Préfère. Don't mind the S. Préfère. Préférons. Now we see here that there is no grave accent. They're just acute accents. Préférons. Préférer. So we see the same thing for nous and vous. They keep the acute accents. The other conjugations change. the accent when the accents with the other conjugations change, but for nous and vous, the two acute accents remain. So, préféré, sorry about that, guys. Préféré. I'm trying to get the mouse so I can point it out. There you go. Préféré, and then préfère. Préfère. Don't mind the ENT. Préfère. Préfère. So, all together now. Je préfère. Remember the change in accent. And it ends with E. Tu préfères. ES, like it ends as every other ER verb, regular ER verb conjugated into the present tense. Je préfère, tu préfères, il, elle, on préfère, nous préférons, and we get a different pronunciation. Nous préférons, vous préférez, il préfère, elle préfère. And those are our subject pronouns, followed by the conjugations, followed by the conjugations which accompany them, followed by their conjugations, are the conjugations which follow as long as they are the subject. So, je préfère, tu préfères, il, elle, on préfère, nous préférons, vous préférez, il préfère, elle préfère. So, now we're going to talk about preference and just look at a bit of vocabulary. So, to prefer to do something. Préférer faire quelque chose. So, to prefer, préférer, préférer, to do, faire something, quelque chose. So, préférer faire quelque chose. So, now let's look at using this structure in a sentence. We prefer to go to the movies with our father. We prefer to go to the movies with our father. Nous préférons aller, because you see the S and A, there's a liaison. So, nous préférons aller au cinéma avec notre père. We prefer, nous préférons to go, aller, to the movies, au cinéma with our father, avec notre père. Nous préférons aller au cinéma avec notre père. So we see we conjugate préférer, and then the conjugation is followed by the infinitive, which we see here. Aller, to go to, aller à. Well, to go to the movies, aller au cinéma. So préférer is conjugated, and the conjugation depends on the subject, and then it is followed by the infinitive of the verb. You don't conjugate aller, so we wouldn't put nous préférons allons au cinéma. No. Nous préférons aller au cinéma. The préférer is followed by the infinitive. You, farmer, prefer to eat ice cream. Vous préférez manger la glace. You, farmer, which would be vous, prefer to eat ice cream. Vous préférez manger la glace. We see that préférer is conjugated, and the conjugation depends on the subject pronoun, which is vous in this instance. Sorry, guys, which is vous in this instance. Then you have that préférer is followed by the infinitive manger. So, to prefer something to something else. So, say I prefer running to walking. Prefer something to something else. Préférer quelque chose. Je regrette. Préférer quelque chose à autre chose. So, to prefer something to something else. Préférer quelque chose à autre chose. To prefer, préférer something, quelque chose, to à something else, autre chose. So here are the examples. I prefer the bakery to the shop. So say you're getting some bread, and someone asks, well, I know where to get my bread. I know I have to get it from the supermarket or the bakery. Which do you prefer? I prefer the bakery to the, sorry, I got shot to the supermarket. I apologize for the errors, everyone. Yes, please. So, I prefer the bakery to the supermarket. Je préfère la boulangerie au supermarché. Supermarché. So, je préfère la boulangerie au supermarché. Je préfère the bakery, la boulangerie, to the au supermarket. Supermarché. So, préférer quelque chose, préférer, and this would be the quelque chose, la boulangerie, quelque chose, à. So, the a becomes o because it is le supermarché, and when a and le are together most of the time, when a is followed by le, which is a part of the subject, it becomes o. Rather than a le, it would become o. So that's why we have o rather than a. It won't be a le, it would be au supermarché. Je préfère la boulangerie au supermarché. Next, we have one prefers the beach to school. One prefers the beach, la plage, to school, à l'école. So one prefers the beach to school. On préfère la plage à l'école. So I prefer something to something else. So on préférer, we conjugated préférer here. Quelque chose, which would be la plage in this case. La plage à autre chose, something else, l'école. Next, we have adorer, which means to love. So, previously I had mentioned that aimer can also mean to love, and that is correct. Aimer can also mean to love, and adorer means to love. So, as usual, we have the subject je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. As we can see once again, adorer is an ER verb, and it is conjugated like the other regular ER verbs in the present tense. So the endings would be E, ES, E, on, E, ENT. And remember that we would add on these endings to the word stem when the word stem is to the word stem when we drop off the ER. And the word stem would be ADOR. So here we have the conjugations. Adore, 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 adorons, adorer, adore. So yes, most of them sound the same, but they're spelled completely different. They sound the same, but they differ. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently. So you have to remember the different spellings and the subject pronouns they correspond with. So you can't put je, no, you can't put j'adore and have an S at the end. No, that'd be incorrect. It would not fly. So make sure you know the subject pronouns, you know the conjugations which go with the subject pronouns. So, as we see, it's j'adore and not je adore, because the E comes before the A, we drop the E and we get the apostrophe. So, j'adore, tu adores, il adore, elle adore, on adore, nous adorons, and we get that liaison, nous adorons, vous adorez, ils adorent, elles adorent. So I'll repeat that again. J'adore, and we see the E at the end. Tu adores, ES. Il adore, I. Elle adore, I. On adore, I. When I say E, I mean that the ending is E and not ES, not ENT, not ONS. No, it is E. Nous adorons, vous adorez, ils adorent, elles adorent. And those are the conjugations with the subject pronouns. So be sure to learn them. Remember the present tense endings that you would add on after dropping the ER. So, we have our vocabulary. To love to do something. Adorer, faire quelque chose. She loves to go to school. Some people love to go to school. So, elle adore aller à l'école. Elle adore to go, aller to school. À l'école. Elle adore aller à l'école. So we see that the adorer is conjugated and then it is followed by the infinitive. So we don't have elle adore va à l'école. No. We do not conjugate aller. No. We conjugate adore and we leave what comes after, the verb that comes after, I should say, in the infinitive. So elle adore aller à l'école. Next we have I love to go for a walk on Saturdays. J'adore me promener le samedi. So j'adore to go for a walk. Me promener becomes the infinitive of it in general is se promener. But me promener, since it's me, me promener le samedi. And on Saturdays, le samedi. If you wanted to say I love to go for a walk on Saturday, talking about a specific day, that sentence doesn't make too much sense. But for now, I love to go for a walk on Saturday. And then I'll deal with a different example. But for now, le samedi, Saturdays, samedi, Saturday. So say I am going to the beach on Saturday, then it'll be just samedi. When it's on Saturdays, it's le samedi. So j'adore me promener le samedi. To love something. Adorer quelque chose. Je regrette. Adorer quelque chose. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. So once again, adorer quelque chose. To love something. Adorer quelque chose. So here we have some examples. I love the clothes store around the corner. So you love something. I love the clothes store around the corner. J'adore le magasin de vêtements au coin de la rue. J'adore the clothes store, le magasin de vêtements around the corner, au coin de la rue. So we see that adore is conjugated and then the noun follows. The object follows. They love football. Ils ou elles, so ils adorent ou elles adorent le foot. They love football. So we have the subject, the verb, and the object. What is loved? Football. Le foot. Ils adorent le foot. Elles adorent le foot. Next, we move on to vouloir. Sorry about that. Vouloir means to want. Vouloir, to want. So once again, the conjugations. So this one is a bit irregular, seeing as you don't have the vouloir before dropping the AR. You don't really have the vouloir, sorry, as I would know vous. The verb is a bit irregular when conjugated into the present tense. So, our subject pronoun, je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. So then the conjugation, you have ve, voulons, voulez, veulent. Ve, voulons, voulez, veulent. So we see which subject pronouns the conjugations correlate. So, je veux. So you want to say I want, you would say je veux. You want to say you want, you familiar want, tu veux. He wants, il veut. She wants, elle veut. One wants, on veut. We want, nous voulons. nous voulons. You want, vous voulez. They want, meaning all males are males and females. Ils veulent. Solely females, elles veulent. So je veux, I want. Tu veux, you want. Il, elle, on veut. He, she, one wants. Nous voulons, we want. Vous voulez, you want. Ils veulent, they want, meaning all males are males or females. Elles veulent, which is solely females want. So, let's look at the vocabulary. So, to want, to do something. Vouloir, faire quelque chose. Vouloir, faire quelque chose. I want to go on a date Friday. I want to go on a date Friday. Je veux sortir ensemble vendredi. Je veux sortir ensemble vendredi. So, realize I don't have le vendredi, I have vendredi. So if it was le vendredi, it would be on Fridays. But since it's Friday, probably this coming Friday, vendredi. Seulement vendredi. So I want, je veux, to go on a date. Sortir ensemble Friday, vendredi. We want to rent a car. Nous voulons louer une voiture. We want, nous voulons, to rent, louer une voiture, a car. And here we see that the vouloir is conjugated, and we know that the conjugation depends on the subject, and then it is followed by the infinitive. Sortir ensemble, louer. Those are the infinitive. How do we know the infinitive? The infinitive verbs end in er, ir, and re. Those are the infinitive of the verbs. Well, those are the infinitive verbs before conjugation, yes. Next, we have to want something. Vouloir quelque chose. Sorry, guys, I don't know where these S's come from. Vouloir quelque chose. To want something. So I have one example here. So, I want a puppy. I want a puppy. Je veux un chiot. Je veux un chiot. I want a puppy. Je veux un chiot. So we see that vouloir is conjugated and the object follows. So vouloir is conjugated to veut, V-E-U-X. Why is it V-E-U-X? Because the subject is je. Je veux un chiot. And it's followed by the object. Not the infinitive, not the verb, a subject in this case. Last but not least, vouloir in the conditional tense. So, je voudrais, tu voudrais, il voudrait, elle voudrait, on voudrait, nous voudrions, vous voudriez, il voudrait, elle voudrait. So a lot of them have the same pronunciation. Remember to know which conjugation goes with which commentator subject pronoun. Yes. So I'll repeat it again. Je voudrais, tu voudrais, il, elle, on voudrait, nous voudrions, vous voudriez, il, elle voudrait. So, if you want to say you would like to do something, you would use vouloir in the conditional tense, followed by the infinitive. And here's an example. I would like to go shopping. Je voudrais faire du shopping. I would like to go shopping. I would like, je voudrais, to go shopping. Faire du shopping. So we see vouloir is conjugated to the conditional tense. We get voudrais, and then it's followed by the infinitive. Faire du shopping. Next we have would like something. Not to do something, just would like something. Vouloir in the conditional tense once again, followed by the object. So here's our example. She would like a new house. Elle voudrait une nouvelle maison. Elle voudrait une nouvelle maison. She would like a new house. Elle voudrait une nouvelle maison. She would like a new house. So she would like, elle voudrait a new house. Une nouvelle maison. And I believe that those are all the verbs. So we have aimer, préférer, adorer, vouloir in the present tense, and vouloir in the conditional tense. When it's in the conditional, we see would like rather than want is a more polite way of saying you want something. So here are some questions to note. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire? What do you like to do? Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire? And we see M, A-I-M-E-S. It is that because the subject is tu. So, qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire? And we see M is conjugated. Faire is followed by the conjugation of M is followed by the infinitive. Faire. Next we have qu'est-ce que tu aimes? What do you like? So not what do you like to do, what do you like? Do you like houses? Do you like puppies? Do you like photography? Do you like cups? What do you like? Qu'est-ce que tu aimerais faire? What would you like to do? So you see, what would you like to do rather than what do you like to do? What would you like to do? Qu'est-ce que tu aimerais faire? Aimer is conjugated to the conditional tense and followed by the infinitive. Qu'est-ce que tu aimerais? What would you like? Qu'est-ce que tu aimerais? What would you like? Que préfères-tu? Que préfères-tu? And we see that the E is, the accent over the E is a grave accent rather than the acute accent. Que préfères-tu? What do you prefer? Tu préfères quelque chose ou quelque chose? Tu préfères quelque chose ou quelque chose? Do you prefer something or, well, I have something else, but this would more translate to do you prefer something or something? So, do you prefer this thing or do you prefer a different thing? Tu préfères quelque chose à quelque chose? Do you prefer something to something else? Do you prefer fish to dogs? Do you prefer chicken to pork? Tu préfères quelque chose à quelque chose? And you know that this can change. It just really depends on the subject. So say you wanted to ask, what does Mary like to do? Qu'est-ce que Mary aime faire? And it would not be M-A-I-M-E-S, it would be A-I-M-E-Y, because that conjugation is used with the first person singular. I believe that's what it's called, the first person singular, which would be il, elle, on. He, she, it. What do you farmer like to do? What do you farmer like to do? Qu'est-ce que vous aimez faire? What do you farmer like to do? So it changes depending on the subject. So here's a list of things generally liked. Everyone may not like everything here, but this is the list that I came up with. So first we have ice cream, la glace. Ice cream, la glace. Fruits, les fruits, les fruits, les fruits, les fruits, les fruits. Spelled fruits but pronounced fruit. Les fruits. Chocolate, le chocolat, le chocolat, le chocolat, le chocolat. Pizza, la pizza, la pizza, pizza. Clothes, les vêtements, les vêtements, les vêtements. And remember the circumflex over the first E. Les vêtements. Juice, le jus, le jus. Don't mind that it ends with an S. Le jus, juice. Tea, le thé, not le thé, le thé. the H would be silent more or less in this situation. So le T. Shoe, la chaussure, la chaussure, la chaussure. Dress, la robe, la robe. Sock, la chaussette, la chaussette, la chaussette. Sweet, like I know we say in the Caribbean I want sweet, like actual sweet to eat. Le bonbon, le bonbon, le bonbon. And I think last but not least, donut. Le beignet or le donut. Le beignet or le donut. Le beignet or le donut. And those were things that you like. Now there's things you like to do. So you have to read, lire, to play video games, jouer aux jeux vidéo, jouer aux jeux vidéo, jouer aux jeux vidéo, to play video games, to jog, faire du footing ou faire du jogging. To jog, faire du footing ou faire du jogging. To go to the beach, aller à la plage, aller à la plage. To go to the movies, aller au cinéma, aller au cinéma. To watch television, regarder la télévision, regarder la télévision. To surf the internet, surfer sur internet ou naviguer sur internet. To go shopping, faire du shopping. To sing, chanter. To dance, danser. To play a sport, jouer à, and then you list the sport. And you know that if the sport is masculine, meaning that it begins with the le article, you will join the a and the le and you get o. So jouer à, sports. So for example, if you want to say play football, football is le foot. You hear that le foot. So then it will be jouer au foot. So play football, jouer au foot. And last but not least, to play an instrument is jouer de plus the plus the instrument. The instrument may begin with a le, and in that case, it would be the sentence would be jouer du, and then the instrument, rather than jouer de le instrument. No, jouer du instrument, and as if it's de and le, de le. Sorry, that's if the instrument following the de is masculine and begins with le. L-E, le. So it becomes jouer du, and the instrument rather than jouer de le instrument. Hopefully that was explained clearly. And here's a little pratique. So translate the following sentences. Translate the following sentences. The girl likes to swim. So this is likes to do something. The girl likes to swim. So for those who sorry, oh my mom. Yes, for those who, I'm going to just show the answer. So after every question is the answer. So I recommend pausing here. And for the rest, we will move on. So here's the answer. La fille aime nager. La fille aime nager. Our mothers prefer tea to juice. Our mothers prefer tea to juice. Nos mères préfèrent le thé au jus. So our mothers prefer tea to juice. So, oh sorry, I got caught up in a little thing. It's not prefer, it will be prefer. Sorry about that, guys. Even I got caught up because I looked at the no. So hopefully you didn't make the same mistake as me. I got caught up in the no. It is not, comment down side. It is not. Don't focus on the our. Our mothers focus on if it's they prefer tea to juice. So nos mères préfèrent le thé au jus. Not préférons like I had, préfère. Nous, mère, préfère le thé au jus. Next, we have you, Farmo, would like to play video games. You, Farmo, would like to play video games. I recommend that you pause here, and then I'm going to show the answer. Vous jouez aux jeux vidéo. Sorry guys, I clearly did not look back. I'm sorry about that. At least I pick up the errors. It's good when you can at least pick up your own errors. So, jouer, comment dit-on? Jouer, oui. Vous jouez aux jeux vidéo. So my sister and I love to go to the cinema on Fridays. Pause here if you're gonna guess. For the rest, you move on. Ma sœur et moi adorons ou aimons aller. So, adorons aller ou aimons aller au cinéma le vendredi. So, ma sœur et moi adorons aller ou aimons aller au cinéma le vendredi. Last but not least, you informal want a puppy. Tu veux un chiot. Tu veux un chiot. So we see here for the different ones, so likes to do something, aimer is conjugated, then followed by the infinitive. Our mothers prefer tea to juice, so when you prefer something to something else, it's préfère whatever, à whatever. It becomes O because it was le jus, and when you got à, and the subject following begins with le and is masculine, you combine the a and the le and you get O. So, préfère something as something, préfère le thé au jus. You would like to do something. Vous jouez, vouloir, to the conditional tense. And then it is followed by the infinitive, jouer, ... My sister, I love to go. We love to go. Adorons ou aimons. Ma soeur et moi, nous. Ma soeur et moi, oui. Adorons, aimons, aller. So we see adore, adorer, and aimer is conjugated. And then followed by the infinitive. And then you see on Fridays, le vendredi, on Fridays. You informal, tu, want a puppy. So we see tu veux followed by the object, a puppy. So here you have some match. So we have aimer la glace, faire du shopping, chanter, vouloir la pizza, le chocolat, et la chaussure. And we're going to match them to these ones. Pizza, shoe. To sing, to like, chocolate, ice cream, to go shopping, and to want. So now, we are going to match the French to the English. So, for those who are going to do it, then look at the answers. I recommend that you pause here. For the rest, we are going on. So, aimer, to like. La glace, ice cream. Faire du shopping, to go shopping. I think that one should have been fairly easy. Chanter, to sing. Vouloir, to want. La pizza, pizza. I think that one should have been easy to get as well. Le chocolat should be relatively easy to get as well. Chocolate. Last but not least, la chaussure, which is shoe, not shoes, shoe. More than one shoe, les chaussures. And those are our answers. So, aimer, to like, la glace, ice cream, faire du shopping, to go shopping, chanter, to sing, vouloir, to want, la pizza, pizza, le chocolat, chocolate, and la chaussure, shoe. Yes, shoe. La chaussure, shoe. And last but not least, fill in the blanks. So, oh look, the answer came. But to blank, la plage, you like the beach. You have to fill it in with the correct conjugation. So, I recommend for you to pause here. If you're going to fill them out, pause. Oh, sorry. If you're going to take your guess, I recommend that you pause here. And then I recommend that you pause here. And I am going to show the answers for the rest. So here's the answer. To M, la plage. A-I-M-E-S. So we know it's you like. M, A-I-M-E-S. Goes with two. Next we have mon neveu et moi. Blank manger les bonbons. My nephew and I love to eat sweets. So here we know that it could be two answers. Mon neveu et moi blank manger les bonbons. My nephew and I love to eat sweets. So what goes there? And the answer is mon neveu et moi adorons ou aimons manger les bonbons. Sorry, not les bonbons. Mon neveu et moi adorons aimons manger les bonbons. Je blank du lait. I would like some milk. So see, we have would like. What is would like? I would like some milk. And the answer is je voudrais du lait. Du lait, sorry, du lait. Je voudrais du lait. Je voudrais du lait. And we know that this is the conjugation for vouloir in the conditional tense, and the one which we use when je is the subject. Next we have son frère blank une voiture. Her brother wants a car. So wants. Her brother wants a car. Wants. And what verb is want? Vouloir. Which tense are we using? The present tense. So what is the answer? Here it goes. Son frère veut une voiture. Son frère son frère veut une voiture. Her brother wants a car. You know it's this veut and not V-E-U-X because of the subject. Son frère, il veut une voiture. Son frère, its subject pronoun will be il veut. Vous blank les fruits ou les bonbons? Do you prefer fruits or sweets? Vous blank les fruits ou les bonbons? Do you prefer fruits or sweets? So we're we're looking for the correct conjugation of préférer, which means to prefer. The subject is vous, so what is the conjugation? Here's the answer. Vous préférez les fruits ou les bonbons? Oh, sorry, vous préférez les fruits ou les bonbons? Had to get a little question into one. So here are the answers. Vous préférez les fruits ou les bonbons? So to M, mon neveu et moi adorons aimons. Sorry about that. Oopsies. Je voudrais, son frère veut, vous préférez. So I just recommend that you go over the video and look at the different conjugations, look and see the endings, which endings go with which subject pronouns and subjects in general. Know the conjugations. Make sure you check out for préfère. 1 minute the accents go in the same direction, next they're against each other, so you need to know these things. So learn these things. Hopefully everything is clear. Merci du fond du cœur. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video. I hope it was very helpful, and I hope to see you another time.